From Creamer Media in Johannesburg, this is the Real Economy Report. Our top stories this week. We take a look at Africa's first green city precinct. We report on recent OECD warnings about South Africa's youth unemployment crisis. And we look at some of Africa's infrastructure needs. Africa's first green city precinct, Menlyn Main in Pretoria, has broken ground and development is starting. Creamer Media talks to the developers.
We've got approximately 275,000 square meters of bulk that we'll be developing over the next 7 to 10 years here. We think that it's going to be a real talking point in Tshwane. We think it's going to be a landmark development here, and we're extremely proud of it.
Well, next phase is obviously we start with bulk earthworks. We're hoping to have the bulk earthworks contractor from tomorrow already. We've got about a week to set up site establishment, and then we'll have graders and earthworks equipment on site. We've got about a 2.5-month hole digging exercise with lateral support going at the same time. Luckily for us, it's going into the dry season, so we're hoping to get that done fairly smoothly. And then we're handing over to the main contractor, Wilson Bailey Homes, towards the end of September, early October. The project is running through to the first quarter of 2012. Current program is running about the middle of March, when Nedbank will be taking occupation of the building and starting with their internal kit out, and then moving into the building probably within 30 days after that date.
We're creating the first green precinct, so a lot of the new green principles are going to be part of all the buildings that we develop here. From Nedbank's point of view, I think it was a condition of their development. Theirs is going to be an extremely energy efficient building with a number of green principles intrinsically designed into the building. And from our point of view, to have Nedbank with that huge green ethos behind them as the first occupier in the precinct is really exciting for us. If we don't start building green buildings now, I can tell you in 5 to 8 years' time, those buildings are going to be redundant. In other words, on a reletting or a resale of those, one's going to have to go back and retrofit various principles and various design elements into those buildings to make them green anyway, and that's going to be even more expensive.
At 50%, South Africa's youth unemployment has emerged as a serious threat to social stability, OECD Secretary-General Angel Gurria warned during a recent visit to South Africa, during which he also addressed the organization's first economic survey of South Africa.
And in South Africa, 1 out of 2 youth are unemployed. These are massive numbers. We had a financial crisis, we had an economic paralysis, and then we had a legacy in the form of a very painful human side of the crisis, which is the unemployment. But in that human side of the crisis, which is unemployment, which is so painful and so tragic, the youth unemployment really is an unacceptable, rather abysmal reality we have to fight. Youth-specific measures should be a part of an employment strategy. A broadened wage subsidy program, possibly building on the existing learnerships program, could help. Other elements are worth considering, such as expanded job search assistance, the differentiation of sectorial minimum wages by age, and special extended probation periods for employees below a given age.
Africa's rapid economic growth could be hampered by a lack of infrastructure. Keith Campbell has the story.
The African economy is currently growing strongly, but the continent needs to invest in infrastructure. African Development Bank Chief Economist and Vice President, Professor Mthuli Ncube, gives some examples.
The infrastructure deficit in Africa right now is about $1.5 trillion US. I'm not certain that there is enough capital depth, if there is enough capital depth in terms of domestic capital markets to finance that infrastructure. So a lot of the money needs to come from abroad as foreign direct investment. But there's a need to develop roads, and we need to make sure that we use quasi-market mechanisms such as public-private partnerships, electricity generation, power, the whole energy sector. So, and also the other infrastructure is housing, affordable housing, because one way in which people move into the middle class is through, one of the channels is through owning a home. And if the value of that home goes up, that gives you collateral security, and your place is firmly embedded in the middle class. So there's a lot of work to be done there, a lot of opportunity, and a lot of investment is required for that infrastructure to be put in place.
That's Creamer Media's Real Economy Report. Join us again next week for more news and insights into South Africa's real economy.